الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. وأبو داود عن أبي سعيد الخدري قال: دخل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ذات يوم المسجد فإذا هو برجل من الأنصار يقال له أبو غنام، فقال: ما لي أراك جالسا في المسجد في غير وقت الصلاة؟ قال: هموم لزمتني تدينون برسول الله. قال: أفلا أعلمك كلاما إذا أنت قلته أدخل الله عز وجل همك وقضى عنك دينك؟ قال: قلت: بلى يا رسول الله. قال: قل إذا أصبحت وإذا أمسيت: اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الهم والحزن، وأعوذ بك من العجز والكسل، وأعوذ بك من الجبن والبخل، وأعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال. قال: فعلت ذلك فأذهب الله عز وجل همي وقضى عني ديني. It's narrated that one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ was in the masjid, and the Prophet ﷺ passed by him, and he saw him. He was like sitting, and he was sad and had tightness. And he told him, what is going on? He said, I'm burdened by debt. He said, I will teach you a few words that if you say them morning and evening, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enable you to pay your debt and relieve your stress. And he said, every morning, every evening, say, Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from grief and sadness, from weakness and laziness, and from miserliness, stinginess, and cowardness, and from being overcome by debt and overpowered by men. So this is a dua that the Prophet ﷺ is teaching us. But if you look at the sequence, subhanAllah, this dua is amazing. Look at the sequence. To start by, I seek refuge in Allah from grief and sadness. That's something inside. Then weakness and laziness, that's on the outside. And then he said, and I seek refuge from you from being overcome by debt, and lastly, overpowered by men. So see the sequence, how it moves. First one is grief and sadness, that's from inside. So what happens to you when you're away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When you're not obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what happens? Tightness in the chest. And that tightness becomes sadness. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. He said, whoever turn away from me or from my remembrance, he will have a tough life. You know? And so when you turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have this sadness, and you have grief and tightness in your chest. And what happens as a result? You don't want to do anything. You become lazy, and you feel like you're paralyzed. You know, when patients go, for example, to screen for depression, and they ask them how many hours you sleep, or are you able to perform things, and they score say like, I don't want to do anything, I don't feel like I will do anything. They have this laziness or inability, they feel like they're frozen, they cannot do anything. So when you turn away from Allah, you have this tightness in the chest, and sadness, and grief, and that translates into laziness, and translates into inability. And what happens as a result? You may start affecting your work, and now spending on your credit card, and you accumulate debt. And what happens as a result? You'll be overpowered by men. So you see the secrets? It's not random. So that's why they say, الدين يملأ النفس بالأمل ويدفعها للعمل. The religion fill you with hope and push you to do work. It's a drive. That's why when you are a strong believer, remain Allah, and you have this ease in your chest, and you feel like you're settled in your iman, command that make you move forward and do work, and be productive. So that's the dua that Prophet ﷺ is teaching us. At the same time, when you think about it, you understand that, the sequence is very important. That's why religion, or being religious, is not just, rituals that you do. It's something that will enable you to do better in your life, and achieve what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us